Show me something.
Hello and welcome back to the Show Me Something podcast. I'm Will.
I'm Trevor.
And I'm Jacob.
And this week I showed the boys Memories of Murder, the 2003 film directed by Bong Joon-ho, a South Korean filmmaker that we actually started this podcast with, his most recent film, Parasite. So doing a classic Will and bringing it back around. What's up, boys? How are we? Been a while.
Doing good, yeah. The last time we recorded was what? We were talking about it last night, Will. It was like June? Yeah, shit.
Yeah, we did an in-person run, and then the last time we recorded in this setting, it was April, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So, been a while.
It's been a minute.
We've obviously seen each other since then, but not in this particular format. What's new?
I quit my job.
You did.
Since last time we recorded, I quit my awful social media job, and now I work with Jacob.
Yeah, I got him a job.
Jacob got me a much better, more fun, just overall not shit job. So that's really exciting.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Congrats.
And I'm the reason also it's taken so long to record, because I took forever to edit the last couple of episodes.
I don't think that's entirely true.
We've been busy too, though. Like
we've also been busy for sure.
A full 2 months, I've been doing house stuff, like because I moved into my house now. You can see the background is different. I talked about it briefly on Ned Pod that came out already, but yeah, we closed since the last recording, and then before we even moved in for a month, we're just doing like remodel stuff.
Yeah.
Remodeling the entire bathroom, going through the rooms, repainting, doing new floors and everything. But now we're finally here. Now we can start hanging out again and doing podcasts, you know.
Hell yeah.
It's
exciting. Yeah, this is my first remote record from this house too, even though I had just moved in last time we recorded, but
we were back there in my home.
Back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still in my apartment. I haven't moved. I just moved jobs.
And I will say this is...
You were new.
Oh, I was just going to say this is an early morning podcast, so we're all just caffeinating.
Yeah.
Yep. We're not boozing. We're just drinking some nice coffee. I'm cappuccino.
Yeah, I had a Coca-Cola, and now I'm having water.
Trevor finished watching the movie at like 4 a.m. last night.
Yeah. Get off work at 1 o'clock in the morning. So, you do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah. The only other note that I have is that as of the last record, I became a PC gamer.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks to Trevor. Trevor was kind enough to donate his old Lenovo gamer PC to me. So that's been a delight.
And Ked. Shout out Ked for the graphics card.
Yeah, I was going to say, Ked, it came with it was a functioning graphics card, but Ked came through with a delightful piece of mail and shipped me an updated graphics card, which thankfully fits.
Just barely. So, kind of not.
Barely. I'm at the absolute maximum capacity for anything added to this PC, but it'll get me through for a couple years. So
you'll be fine.
I've been doing that, which is great.
I mean, there was a reason I didn't upgrade it, and I just built a whole nother one. So,
yeah.
But I'm glad that we are now able to play games with you.
Yeah,
that we don't have to search for the 3 games that are cross-platform between PlayStation
which we
and
never
PC.
even
It was like Fortnite, Apex, and I don't even know what else.
And it never
Rocket League, maybe?
It never even happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been gaming, which is great. Cobb and I got absolutely slapped around in pubs last night.
We did.
Pretty miserable.
Yeah.
But, that's been
that's always fun.
That's as per usual, though.
Yeah, definitely as per usual. All right. Any other housekeeping before we jump into this film?
I don't think so.
Cool.
I don't think so either. Yeah, that was my biggest thing, was the better new job.
Yeah. New job, new house, new gaming rig.
New life.
That's all
new
3
life.
Very equivalent things. Awesome. So a little bit of background about this film. It's, like I said, Bong Joon-ho's second film. Takes place in the late 80s. It's essentially about 3 detectives who are trying to solve a serial killer case in a kind of rural South Korean town. The main actor, the most familiar or recognizable actor, at least to us, An American audience would be Song Kang-ho, who plays Detective Park. He was also the father figure in Parasite. He's worked with Bong on a few other films. He's in The Host as well, which is also very good. But yeah, what'd you guys think?
I liked it. I go first, right?
Yeah, you go first.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I did enjoy it a lot. Got kind of frustrated at times. You know, I'm sure you guys know what I mean by that.
We'll
I'll
dig into that.
definitely elaborate on that later. But overall, I did enjoy it. It was suspenseful. It was interesting. The parts I got frustrated about, I'm sure I was supposed to be frustrated about them, so it kind of made sense. Overall, I would just I don't want to talk about anything else because I want to wait until we can actually not worry about spoilers. So, give it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. Would watch again with someone else.
Sweet.
Right on. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I think I can easily say that Bong is one of the best directors working right now. It's insane. This is the third movie of his that I've seen. Parasite being the first. Then I watched Snowpiercer on my own, and then I watched this one. Snowpiercer very different than these two, than other two, but that one was still great. Definitely recommend that if you guys haven't seen it. But this movie was so fucking good, dude. It was everything you want in a gritty detective movie, in my opinion. The actors did a fantastic job. The story was intriguing. The way they do things differently in this 1980s Korean town from everything else you would normally see that good detectives do. They're torturing the shit out of people. It's basically a police state. You see riots happening at one point, but then there's also the beautiful rural countryside that's right outside the town. It's so fucking good. The story, it was gripping. I right after it was finished, I was looking stuff up, trying to we'll get into the ending later, but I was trying to figure out if I missed something. I was I was immediately am I dumb? But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I'll give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Pretty much same boat for me. Obviously, I saw this for the first time not very long ago. I think it was earlier this year, probably around February or March. And yeah, I think it's unbelievable. I think it's ridiculous that this is his second movie, and it's this confident and this assured and this just well made. Watching it again this week, I was a little concerned that maybe this isn't the best movie to sit and talk about for a while, because it's pretty fucking dark and heavy, and those fears kind of went away once I finished it again, because I was like, oh man, it's just so good. But I think the acting is incredible. I agree that Bong is easily one of the best directors in the world at the moment. He hasn't made a bad film that I've seen. I've seen all of his stuff now except for 2, which are on my list. And I think Song Kang-ho also has a shout as just an absolutely top of his class actor. I think he's unbelievable. He's a chameleon. I've never seen him be the same role twice. He's very different in everything I've seen him in, and he's just got unbelievable gravitas, and he's just so magnetic. Yeah, I love it too. I'm probably at a 10, honestly. I started to watch it again this morning.
Nice.
Before realizing I don't necessarily want to start my day this way. But I did watch the first 40 minutes of it again today, and I probably will watch it again in completion over the weekend, because I just think it's just very good. Cool. Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Herein ends the non-spoiler section. What would y'all like to start with?
You want to go into the ending?
Oh, do we want to just start with the ending?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think it's one of those ones that, generally when there's an ending like this, we usually start there because it's potentially, the controversial probably isn't the right word, but it's a topic.
Yeah, so like the ending, it's basically like it takes place like 20 years later. Like the main detective, Detective Park, he's not a detective anymore. He's like working for a different company.
He's like a salesman.
Yeah, like a traveling salesman basically or whatever. But he's going through the same town and he sees like the field where the first murder happened, and he goes out there and like looks in that same hole from the beginning and has this conversation with this little girl who sees him and basically tells him that somebody else was also here looking, and that they said that they were here looking at it because they did something here a long time ago and wanted to see it again. Yeah. And all she says that he looks like is that he looked normal and ordinary. Yeah. And then you see Detective Park look over and then immediately turn his gaze directly to the camera to look at the audience. I mean, it's like so fucking good, dude.
It's really good.
But when I finished it, I was like, who the fuck was the ordinary one? I was like, what do you mean? Who was it? I immediately had to talk to Abby, who didn't watch the movie. She was like painting in the kitchen. She was like every now and again was like peeking over to see what was going on. And I was like, I like had to explain the whole thing to her. I was like, I don't, what, who? I want to know.
So do you think that we saw the killer or know who the killer is? Because I don't. I think it's...
No.
I'm supposed to know.
I'm in between either it being somebody that we never saw or the last guy. Just because, like, the the DNA test came back negative.
Well, it came back inconclusive.
Inconclusive.
Yeah. Which is a...
So...
That's a fucker.
Which is a... Yeah, for sure.
That scene also is unbelievable.
Oh, it's really good. But, like... The fact that it's like, as far as we know, the killing stopped after that confrontation with, what was that character's name even?
I have no idea.
What, the last suspect?
The last.
Factory.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Whatever.
Last suspect guy.
Yeah, he like got confronted by them and almost shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a really good reason for him to maybe be like, I think I'm done. I'm gonna stop doing this because they're on me. They've almost got me pinned. But also, it could have just not been him. It could have just been the killer is done. Serial killers will do that. They'll just stop. Like,
or just more bodies won't be found.
Right.
Which, for this small town, I feel like though people would have like with the actual first murder that they found later, she was reported missing, and everyone was like, so I feel like more people would have showed up missing at that point, and they would have kept their eyes on that kind of stuff a lot closer.
Yeah.
But I think
I'm in. Sorry, go ahead, Trev.
I'm straight up halfway in between. It could have been him, and it could have been someone we never saw.
Yeah, I'm kind of like right there with you. Like I want it to be that last guy. Like he was so like arrogant and cocky in his own quiet way. It's like what you would expect in like a psychopath, basically. Like
pretty much.
And he's like so confident, like Joker style, in the interview that they are not gonna torture him. It's like. This guy's got to be the fucking one, man.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Well,
I don't think
shit,
he is.
he probably isn't.
I think it's no one. I think it's no one because I think, for me, my main takeaway is that this type of awful shit, and I think this is reinforced by the girl's comment of he looked like an ordinary, like plain guy. That is just like anyone is capable of anything.
Yeah.
Deal, right, and there's not necessarily going to be an easy answer for it. There's not necessarily going to be a reason, but awful shit just happens.
Yeah.
And I think, Bong, that's not necessarily the most gratifying end to a film, but I am on record on this podcast as absolutely adoring ambiguous endings. I love them. I think that honestly, for me, they're like maybe the most satisfying type of ending because it lets me put my own spin on it and think about, what I can take what I want from the film. And I just, for this one, it's just so brutal too. And we talked briefly about the scene where they get the DNA results back, and that sequence of Detective, I'm going to say I'm not sure, it's SEO, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but the out of town detective,
the guy from
like
Soul,
the straight man, right? Yeah. When they find the final body of the film, who is a child that he had an interaction with throughout the film, he finally snaps, right? And like finds this kid that we were just talking about, the kind of the suspect,
the final suspect,
beats him up, drags him to a tunnel by his house, a train tunnel, and is going to murder him, like is going to kill him. Just straight up. Detective Park comes. He's got the DNA results from America. They read inconclusive, and then you just have this moment that's kind of a callback throughout the film of Detective Park like staring into the guy's eyes, trying to figure out if he's a criminal or not.
His shaman eyes.
Which are
such bullshit.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
It is bullshit, but I like that that's his thing, because a detective has to have a thing.
Yeah, you have to. And I love also that when he first has that conversation with his chief, it cuts away before he can decide which criminal is which I think is like a nice kind of play on that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. From the very beginning, the rapist and then the brother.
Yeah, they like don't give us confirmation whether he can do that or not. So the whole film, we kind of he like has this thing where he's looking. Anyway.
And the one time in the middle, he lies about it when he sees the underwear.
He saw the underwear.
Yeah.
And he's like, my eyes.
But it's great when he picks him out of the crowd, and then
smug.
He drinks some water. It's pouring rain, and then the guy from Soul just like looks at him like, "What the fuck?"
Wow, he's just so smug about it. I know. That's also great. The one thing I wanted to finish on the train tunnel scene, at least from my end, when he says to the kid, "Do you get up each morning too?" He's just like, that is like, are you normal just like the rest of us, but you're out here like murdering people? I don't know. It's so thought-provoking and devastating.
I do want to say too that like, the case that this was based on, at the time of making the movie, they didn't know who the killer was either. So like, I think Bong was just like not gonna pick his own killer. He's like, I'm just gonna
do whatever.
I also read a thing, I don't know if this is actually what he was thinking, but he wanted the last shot to be Park looking at the audience because he was hoping that the killer would watch the movie and like he would be looking at him.
Oh shit.
But the guy was eventually caught, I think in like 2019 or something like that. He turned himself in.
Recently. Yeah. That's crazy.
Dang.
He turned himself in.
Yeah, he had confessed to like murders in the teens and then like 30 rapes. Like it was like,
oh my god,
this guy was doing a lot of horrible shit.
He was South Korea's first serial killer, right?
I don't know. I didn't read about that.
That's what I read. He's like the first documented serial killer in the country of South Korea.
Damn.
Which is
1980s.
a big deal.
There was a lot of serial killers in the 80s.
Yeah, bad time.
Yeah. I do want to go back to the train scene real quick with Detective Seo Tae-yoon, whatever, the SEAL guy, because he's constantly throughout the film talking about how documents don't lie.
Yeah.
The truth is always in the documents. And then whenever he does snap, he looks at that DNA report and is like, this one's lying. Yeah. And that, for me, was the moment where like, oh, no.
Well, I don't think he couldn't take anymore. Every single time he tried to follow science and follow the documents, it just led to nowhere. It just led to more death, basically.
It did, but also like it got him closer than they were getting with the other guys. Like
not even really.
They weren't even trying. They were just trying to like put it on.
They wanted to pin it.
Not him. On Kwang Ho, the
poor guy,
kid.
dude.
They were just putting it on
the fuck out of him.
Detective Park. His friggin'. Was it his wife or girlfriend or?
I couldn't tell if it was a prostitute or a girlfriend.
She's a doctor.
She's a nurse, doctor person.
Who's like kind of a girlfriend, I think. But they end up married. That's just at the end of the film. So.
Which also, I want to loop back around to that because that's a weird thing I didn't understand. But like he just basically went off of her thing. Like, oh, I heard that the special kid, followed her around, and he's like, that's her then. I mean, that's the killer. And now he just
because she said that that
he definitely
they
a suspect,
saw him
but the
following people saw him following her that night, right?
Yeah, which is fair enough to be a suspect, but it's like there's a difference between a suspect and, hey, tell us what you did. You did this. Yeah. No, it was with this thing, and like,
but I mean, they were
leading questions.
They were corrupt.
Yeah.
Oh, for
they,
sure.
Like, weren't good cops.
They faked the
cared
footprint.
About the job, but,
I'm unsure about corrupt. Yeah, they're definitely corrupt, but more like incompetent than corrupt. Yeah. I would say, because like they weren't trying to cover anyone up. They were just like, we want to, like, we're sure this is it. We don't have enough evidence to prove it for sure, so we're just going to make up evidence to get our gut reaction, the real thing or whatever. Does that count as corrupt?
I don't know if I would say Park is incompetent. I just think that he's maybe lazy and didn't want to necessarily do the work to get the killer. And to be fair, they circle back to this too, but the confession that Kwang Ho gives in the woods when they're like trying to bury him, it wasn't rehearsed. Like, he is giving details of the murder.
Yeah.
So, like, it's reasonable to assume, even though obviously they're going far and beyond assumption at that point, because they've already beaten him up and, you know.
And they're bringing to a hole in the woods to bury him.
We're going to kill you.
You're like, do you know what we're doing out here? We're going to bury you. And he was just like, oh.
Why?
I think he is less concerned with the truth and just wants results, which is kind of, I mean, he definitely shows signs of incompetency, obviously.
But especially his like lackey, for a backup letter term.
Yeah, the kicking guy.
Cho.
Cho. Yeah, he's God. I did not like him at all.
What an arc he has, though.
He is a great arc. Yeah, I mean, he's
once he gets the tetanus in his leg, though, he never shows up again. In the movie.
I thought he was gonna too, but they never show him again.
Well, they amputate his leg.
Yeah, but like he was like he says how that guy was like a brother to him, and then he just abandons him after he has to lose a leg.
Like, for a little bit at the very end, I thought maybe he's the driver. Maybe he's the driver in the sales car or something.
Yeah,
and it's not him. So it's like, what happened?
He's gone.
Yeah,
he's just some guy now. Can't kick anyone anymore.
He's some one-legged dude now.
Which is, I mean, it's justified. I think that happens to him because he was a real piece of shit.
Oh yeah, he was a piece of shit. But
what was your favorite kick of the movie?
Favorite
maybe
kick.
The drop kick in the quarry, because like he comes from off screen and drop kicks the guy to the ground.
Oh,
they love the drop kick.
I don't mean from that guy particularly. In general kicks. Sorry, no, that's a very sadistic question. No, I mean in general, what was your favorite kick? Because there's only one for me.
I guess I don't understand the question then.
When Detective Park drop kicks the soul detective, like when they meet each other, he like kicks him off the road.
Because he thinks he's attacking the girl. Yeah,
he thinks he's attacking the girl. Yeah, that's like I think maybe
that's a pretty good one.
That's my favorite movie moment I think that I've seen this year. It made me laugh so hard.
I feel like his kicking form is not as good as the actual kicking detective, though. You know?
Yeah.
Oh no, definitely not. But it's just so out of left field. Like what?
But like, what's the deal with the drop kicks? Like, everyone loves to do these just big jumping drop kicks. It's like, what why? That's so painful.
I think Detective Park probably makes the most sense because he had high ground, so he just gotta hit him in the chest, you know. But for Detective Cho, I'm not really sure why.
Because he's got the combat boot on. The combat boots.
He loves the combat boots and his little like booties to cover them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's no scratches.
So weird.
It's pretty messed up.
I was just so surprised as well with the torture room when Detective.
That's the interrogation room.
The interrogation room. I'm sorry. Whenever he shows up, I'm expecting like, oh, he's gonna find out about the like interrogation room and the fact that they're torturing people, and he's gonna report it back and like, or try and stop it because it's not what you're supposed to do. And then he's just sitting there watching them like coerce a fake confession out of this kid.
Well, they talk about it like the town even knows about the cops being
even the school kids
corrupt
that,
for
kids torture people.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Like, I figured the guy from Seoul would at least like try and stop that, and he's just like, yeah, okay, like I don't like this, but whatever.
Yeah.
You guys do your thing.
Yeah.
What?
Well, they're pretty much at odds the whole film. Well, not the whole film, but the first half of the film, especially Park and Detective So, until they kind of have that. I think it's maybe after the third killing where they have that scene of them with both of their heads like laying on the desk in the office, and they finally start talking to each other about
I think that was
how
the fourth.
they're feeling about it. Was it the last one? I'm not sure.
Wasn't
Weren't
there
there
five
four total or five? Okay, so
I think there's
it's the
five
second
because
to last.
there's the first two girls we see. Then there's the girl who was actually murdered before both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of on screen, I guess then.
And then the girl going to the factory, and then the
kid.
school girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's all of them.
Because they fight each other a few times. Like, they fist fight each other.
Yeah, they fist fight while the girl going to the factory is getting murdered.
Yeah. That scene is terrifying.
That is dude, that coming out of those,
Out
like
of the
that,
reeds?
right?
Yeah.
The reeds or rice or whatever it was, that was...
Yeah, when you see him in the background, like pop his head up.
That was
Nothing-
also...
He pops his head up in that scene before
Yeah,
he runs
way,
out?
way in the background. You didn't see it?
No.
Oh, yeah,
I've seen this
dude.
movie twice and I haven't seen that. No
Yeah,
shit.
it's
It's
when
so
she's first
creepy.
like trying to look for him with the flashlight. He's like way in the background. You see his head pop up, like Michael
my
Myers
God.
style.
I'm glad I
And then
didn't
it
see
goes
that,
back
'cause I
down.
probably would have been actually scared.
Dude.
Nothing like a good creepy whistle, man. This is just such a tried and true thing.
Yeah,
She
So
should have
good.
started sprinting the moment she heard that whistle, though.
Yes.
The fact that you're stopping, because like the whistle, I'm pretty sure even the second time came from behind her, and then
Yeah.
she stops, giving him time to move ahead of her.
I mean, she's not.
I don't
getting
think it
out.
mattered. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was gonna get her.
She's gonna get killed.
Now, if she started sprinting the moment she heard that whistle, there's no way he would have caught her.
I think,
think
that's probably not true,
That's false.
but it doesn't really matter either way.
It doesn't. She
doesn't
died, so
happen.
whatever. But that just coming out of the that's so horrifying.
Yeah,
It's on all fours too, which was so creepy.
yeah. It was creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Oh, could we?
He
We
looked like
could
a
have freeze
demon.
framed that probably and seen who
it is.
was.
Yeah, it does show his face.
It does show his
Um,
face for a brief moment.
Oh, that might be worth doing. Anyway, the thing I think that, because this obviously isn't as genre bending as something like Parasite is, where there's like it can be 4 different types of movies at once. Like this is pretty clearly a crime / murder mystery.
Thriller kind of thing.
but-
yeah.
You know, again, just like in Parasite and like in the other films of his that I've seen, he has this way of injecting humor into these types of films that's just like so. You would think it would be so hard to pull off, but I just think he's so adept at that. Like the one moment in particular, besides the aforementioned dropkick, is when Detective Park comes up with his fucking theory about the murderer has no pubic hair, and the chief is like,
What a ridiculous.
how do you find
theory.
them? Do you just like pull the pants off of passing men? And then it like smash cuts to him in a bathhouse, just staring at dude's junk, trying to find a hairless person. Like that's really funny.
That was
It's
really funny.
ridiculous.
It's really funny, and I just like, how is this a scene in a movie that is so grim? And I
He
just
wanted his theory to be right, like so
yeah,
bad.
He always does. Yeah, he always does. And that was especially wasn't that the same scene where the assistant? I don't think she's a secretary necessarily. but
No,
the
she's
female-
she's an officer.
yeah,
Officer
the female
Kwan.
officer has the theory about the song, and
Yeah.
he's like, okay, good job. Like pats her on the head essentially,
Yeah.
and she's right. And he's like talking about bald pubes. It's just like what?
She's like a
what are
way
you
better
doing?
detective than him.
Way better, yeah. And she did it in like her off time.
She's just like, I like this radio program, and killings keep happening during this weird
Sad
song.
letter.
Yeah, and he's
Sad
like, no,
letter.
bathhouse.
But naked men.
Yeah. I like the color palette too. That's like honestly my last note that I have written down. But like how it's very bright, the film in the opening scene, and then obviously in the final scene because it's at the same place. But as soon as it cuts back to the police station right after they look at the first body, it's like very gray. The movie is very gray for the rest of the time, which makes sense. It's often night and it's raining a lot, but I think even in those kind of muted tones that the cinematography is really beautiful.
Yeah, it definitely is beautiful. Like all the scenes when like their what is it, like rice patties or the crops or whatever they are, like
I think it's
just
rice,
like the expanse of it, and then like the fog and stuff. It's just And every scene where there's rain, dude. I love a good rain scene.
So good.
Me too. Such a sucker for rain. Yeah, absolutely adore it. Obviously, it's a very ominous thing in this movie, but yeah, just really great. The other shot, when you mentioned the rice paddy, the one of Detective So when he goes up to the house behind the school, and he's like standing in like, it looks like cabbage maybe. Like
I'm pretty sure it's
field,
cabbage, yeah.
And like standing there and smoking is a really beautiful shot.
Yeah. And I do want to mention the that chase scene after they catch the guy like jerking off at that one crime scene.
Yeah, so good.
That chase scene is amazing. Like
it is. That's really good.
I was like on the edge of my seat during that chase scene. And even with its like stoppages and like it's not even like they're just running. It's not like they're in like cars or anything crazy like that. There's no gunfire happening. They're just
it's the music.
Like two detectives kind of in shape, and then like Park, who's like not in the best shape, like chasing after this guy.
Yeah.
And I like that scene a lot also because it shows a moment of like these guys do have their advantages of being these small town cops, is that they do know the town.
Yeah.
Where like when they lose him for a minute, and then the detective Cho, the kicking guy's like he hears those dogs and he's like,
he jumps up on the wall. He's like,
there, because like I guess he might even know whose dogs they are. It's like they don't bark for nothing, and then boom, go, and they got him on the trail again, which was really I liked giving them that like it's not like a big like redemption, but it's like a redeeming moment for them where it's like they're not complete morons. They're just mostly idiotic.
I do think the Park and Cho are relatively irredeemable though. I think the only one who's semi-redeeming as a character is Detective So, even though I think at the end he kind of shoots himself in the foot proverbially by beating the kid within an inch of his life. About to kill him.
He kind of loses himself.
But he might have been the killer.
He might not have been, though.
I don't think he was, though. Inconclusive.
It was pretty inconclusive. I don't know if you saw the documents.
Oh, it's very
The documents are a lie, though.
Yeah. Until they're not. They're a lie.
Man, I really thought, too, in the middle of the movie when that guy came to jerk off at the crime scene, I was like, it has to be him. And every time, just proven wrong. It's just not him. It's just all these fucking coincidences. Like,
just happened to have a weird public masturbator in the town.
Yeah, just this guy that even though like they're like, oh no, he's so great, he goes to church and like fucking he's taking care of his sick wife. Public masturbator.
His house was so gross.
Oh yeah,
it was
like
disgusting.
the most uncomfortable I felt in the whole movie was being in that house.
They did a really good job with set design though in this movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like every single one of these little apartments that they go into, like there's so much detail in every single one of them, you know? And all the little restaurants where like you like come down the stairs into a table and it's like there's like cubby holes everywhere, like where the guy likes to sleep.
It's just that guy's house, it seems like, and he's just like, a restaurant.
I think it's like a house/restaurant, yeah.
That operating theater when they were going to chop off kicking guy Cho's leg.
Yeah.
That was also like, I'm looking at this operating theater, I'm like, that is not sanitary. What the? This whole room is disgusting.
Different times, man. And a small town, rural
Korea,
theaters. I mean, even rural America, you probably get some pretty dicey fucking places.
I'm sure you could, but like,
especially in the 80s.
I don't think they had all the technology there anyway. Like they even talk about how they don't have the technology to like do these DNA tests. They had to send it off to America at the time.
Which, to be fair, in the 80s, that's a fairly new-ish kind of feel.
Yeah.
So that makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. But damn.
Yeah, it looked like it was something out of Saw, the room he was in.
Yeah.
A lot of it. Very dingy, gritty.
Wild stuff. I didn't even think about tetanus until they're like talking about amputating, which I should have because I've had a nail go through my foot and had to get my tetanus shot again.
Ooh. Damn.
But it wasn't deep. My boot stopped most of it.
Nice. Good old boot. Good old cowboy boots.
Hell yeah.
Good boot.
That's what they're for, brother.
But like, tetanus is no joke.
Man, I felt so bad for the first suspect, that kid with the burn on his face.
Yeah.
Like, constantly being harassed, and then so tragic at the end of his story, where like they're just trying to ask him these questions, but he's so scared of them at this point because they tortured the hell out of him, that he just runs away from them, and he's scared that they're mad because he stabbed the guy in the leg with a nail on accident.
Which was deserved, even if it wasn't.
It was. The guy was going crazy. He was beating the shit out of random-ass people, the people that did nothing. He slammed that first person's head into the table, like, directly.
Pretty sure it was a woman, too.
Yeah, he just went, boosh, and then just, like, a whole brawl started.
Yeah. Also a very well choreographed fight scene.
It was,
For sure.
yeah. But when he runs off, and then when he finally comes down from the telephone pole after they ask him a couple questions and stops in front of the train, it's so sad. It's like...
It's so sad. And we also, it seems like he was like abused even before them, because the burn on his face, he's like, someone threw me into a fire.
His dad.
It was his dad. Yeah. So like his whole life has just been nothing but tragedy.
Just what Game of Thrones was based on? From
bringing levity to the darkness.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but see, this is what I mean. Like we're kind of. It seems like we're already kind of out of things to talk about, because it seems like a bit of a movie that, I think, despite, there being ample thematic material for it and, a thought-provoking ending, it is maybe best experienced just watching it and then like letting it sit with you. There's not a whole lot to talk about, really, and that, I guess, that's kind of on me.
I want to know what happened to the first sergeant, because there was that first older sergeant,
There is a second sergeant,
and then the more competent sergeant shows up, because that first sergeant, he's the one who's like, "Yeah, get in the photo. We're gonna do this reenactment." With the kid.
Yeah, why the hell were they doing a reenactment? I don't understand why they were doing a reenactment.
I think they were trying to get the kid to just like, because he is special, they were just like, all right, we're gonna.
They just wanted to take photos of it.
Set up this reenactment, and maybe he'll like try and kill again if he's in the same situation or some shit like that.
I don't know if they were trying to get him to kill again. I don't think that was the case.
Because the guy
arrested him.
Yeah, I think they just wanted photos to like make it more dramatized. They wanted to like show people,
The guy So came out and was like, "Stop the reenactment. It's not gonna work."
Yeah, because he said it's not gonna work because the kid's innocent.
Exactly, but like that's like, but what's there to work about it?
And his hands, like right before that, he could tell he wouldn't be able to even strangle a guy because he had like webbed fingers or something like that.
That too, but it's just like, what is there to not work other than like I guess trying to get him to do it again, because like the photos aren't gonna work. Like, it's a reenactment. All the journalists are there.
I think he's talking about the choking. Like, he literally won't be able to choke him during the reenactment.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
Because he's like, he just won't be able to do it physically. They're like trying to get him to choke this dude out. This dude they dressed up like a woman for the reenactment.
Very strange.
What the? It's so
that
weird.
Slow-mo shot across the rice paddy where they're like running away is really beautiful too.
That is a good shot.
Circling back to your original point, Trev, when the new chief is like walking through town reading the newspaper, one of the headlines is like investigative team reshuffled. So I'm assuming the guy probably just got reassigned because he was incompetent.
Yeah,
but like, is there multiple sergeants? Are there multiple sergeants at like one police department?
Might be from a different precinct.
Yeah, I guess he had to get brought in. But.
Yeah, the way he's entering, like the way he enters the movie, he is like walking through town as if he's new, So I feel like
that's fair.
It's one of those subtle introductions where it's like not necessarily spelled out that he's like coming to town to help out.
Yeah,
but
I mean, they're having to bring people in. The guy from Seoul, these guys can't fucking figure it out.
Well, he volunteered. So up until the fight scene with Park in the police station just before that next murder happens, like while it's happening.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like a twist ending where So is the murderer. Like, he comes to town like, I'm going to help solve the murder, but he's actually like been the one committing it the whole time.
Bong is better than that.
And then Park's going to somehow come across it and nobody's going to believe him because he's an idiot or corrupt or whatever. I thought it was going to be something like that for a while, or the kicking guy is the murderer, something.
Yeah.
Some twist thing. But then they all are always like together.
Yeah, as it's
so
happening.
There's never an Yes.
like even when they have that, they like fight each other in the office. The killing happens exactly during that time.
Because the song is playing.
Yeah.
She like screams and she's like, listen to the radio. Yeah, haunting. That's also very haunting for him to like call in and request a song whenever it rains.
And then, like as it's happening, the sergeant is trying to call like a state of emergency and like get some troops there, and they're just like we can't. Like they're suppressing a protest. Like
it's insane.
So he's just like we can't do anything. Someone's just gonna die. It's just like it's so dark. It's so grim.
Yeah, it really is.
They really need to just like put out a thing of like, hey, if it's raining, don't go outside. Just don't leave your home.
Yeah.
Lock the doors.
I don't know why they didn't do that immediately. Like, why?
I don't know. Maybe they don't have the pull for it, or they didn't have enough evidence for the city to be like, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I guess.
Citywide.
Because their theories are constantly getting debunked.
Yeah, that's fair.
We got the guy. No, you didn't. We got the guy this time. No, you didn't.
They always wear red.
Pretty
the lady from the factory didn't. She actually changed her clothes to wear green.
Yeah.
True. She did take off the red jacket.
And then the girl was wearing white at the end.
No, she was in her black school uniform before he stripped her down to her underwear.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, it's like, yeah. I mean, I definitely recommend the movie. If you've listened all the way to this point and you haven't, watched it, that's unfortunate.
Once again, listener, you fucked up. But you should definitely watch it. Hopefully.
This is still worth watching, even without,
Man. I mean, it's also, it was just as good on the second watch.
I would definitely watch it again, and I definitely want to continue to watch more of Bong's movies. Like, they're so good. It's incredible.
I think I might, sorry, Trev, I might bring The Host soon. Maybe not right away, but that's his, 2006, monster movie, essentially.
Oh, nice.
Which is, again, it's a Bong Joon-ho monster movie, so it's not just a monster movie. It's all types of other stuff. There's tons of political commentary and all that kind of stuff, but it's also very good. And it also has Song Kang-ho in it in a completely different role.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It's just so good. What were you going to say, Trev?
I think I need to rewatch Snowpiercer because I really liked that one. That was the first one of his movies I'd ever seen.
Yeah, it was the first one I've ever saw as well, and I did also rewatch it earlier this year when I was watching this. Nice. It's good. I don't like it as much as these two.
No.
Parasite and Memories of
Murder.
It's very
different though. It's like
it is. It's a very different kind of movie.
Yeah.
It's more of like an action film, if anything.
Dystopian action.
I think it's
movie.
really good.
Yeah,
which
I like the concept behind it a lot.
Yeah.
The whole show that they made off of it just didn't appeal to me.
I didn't even realize they made a show.
They made a show. Yeah, it's like there's another train actually.
Oh.
Or something.
Okay.
It's like there was a second train on
No,
the
there
thing.
wasn't.
Yeah, I know.
No, there wasn't.
Because money.
Yeah, that is true. Speaking of money, shout out. Looking forward to the Bebop live action. Am I right, guys?
No.
Two sad boys right here.
I'm still not as upset about the live action Bebop as I am about the Avatar show that's coming out.
That's fine because the creators are doing their own thing with Nickelodeon, so
they are, but still, they've so screwed up.
It doesn't have to be
Avatar
canon
live
if
action.
if it's garbage.
It can't be canon.
It's not canon.
Did you read the character descriptions for the live action?
No,
one?
Of course not. I saw the one concept still, and then I moved on after I heard that the creators weren't involved.
It's set in a high school.
Okay, well, I'm gonna pass then. I mean, I'm gonna pass.
Terrible.
They're all in a high school together, and Avatar and Aang is like, oh, I guess.
Why would Aang go to high school?
They're all in this. It's not even a war. It's Zuko is also in this high school.
He's a Fire Lord. How could he be? Well, we don't need to talk about this at the end of this fucking podcast.
Yeah, why not? I'm mad. I want to talk about it.
Did you guys have any final points or anything?
No, just watch Bong Joon-ho films.
Yes.
Yeah, please. They're
That's
good.
Really it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll catch you guys for the next episode where we watch and discuss Trevor's pick.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
It'll be fun.
Getting back
Not
into
an
the
anime.
swing. Ooh,
not an anime.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Okay,
Cut to next week when it is anime.
Psych. All right, y'all. Well, thank you again for listening. As always, I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Nice to see you both, and we'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Show me something.